Chapter 908. That was $50 million gone, but they could handle that. It was losing to an uncultured bastard that embarrassed the two men. Their expressions darkened to the point where they looked positively murderous. The crowd looked at the both of them, almost celebrating the loss. After all, Edward slapping the girl just now was honestly out of line. Of course, the looks on everyone's faces only made both men feel even more humiliated and enraged. The dealer pushed $80 million in chips over to Wilbur. Wilbur remained motionless, taking a drag of his cigarette. Tiff could not take it any longer, trembling as she lay against Wilbur. Her chest was fully pushed up against his arm. Wilbur glanced at her, whispering, "Stay calm." Tiff flushed but remained leaning against him as she honestly could not get up. Just then, Edward had flown into a fit of rage. He had been winning at life ever since he was a child, getting his way every single time. This was a humiliation he had never faced before. Jesse was fuming as well. Both he and Edward were born into corporations worth billions and could do whatever they wanted without facing any pushback. Edward shoved all $50 million of chips in front of him onto the table. "Small. I'm betting on small too." Jesse refused to back down, pushing all his chips forward. Both men then turned to Wilbur, giving him a murderous glare. No one in the crowd dared to say a word anymore. The two guys were clearly enraged. Who knew what would happen if they were to lose their temper? It was fine to watch the show, but it was more important to stay out of trouble. Wilbur smiled, pushing all his chips forward. "I'll bet on the big then." Tiff was beside herself with nerves when the dealer said, "Sir, the lounge only allows a maximum bet of $50 million. "Ah." Wilbur nodded. "I'll bet $50 million on a big then." The dealer glanced at everyone before saying, "All bets confirmed." She set the jar down, all eyes staring intently at it. Everyone wanted to know if this guy could win again. It would be a miracle if he did. 4, 4, 6, 14. Big. The dealer dabbed at the sweat on her brow again. 5 big in a row was honestly a rare case, and even someone working in a casino professionally like her found it astonishing. The crowd was dead silent. Everyone stared at Wilbur in disbelief as if they were looking at a ghost. Tiff felt as if she could melt into a puddle on the ground at any second, trembling against Wilbur's body. She could not believe that his man had just turned $100,000 into $100 million, all on his own. Such a scene only happened in the movies. Just then, Edward and Jesse's expression began to contort. They stared at the dice jar long and hard, unable to believe their eyes. "I dare you to come to the VIP lounge to play against us," Edward said, glowering at Wilbur. Jesse sneered as well. "No point playing small, petty games like this. Do you have the courage to play with bigger stakes?"